welcome back to the World Curling Federation's Olympic Qualification event 2017. We're in Pilsen, Czech Republic. This is the centre of Pilsen. Here we have the cathedral in the Old Town Square, the surrounding Christmas market. Just outside this quaint city centre, we'll find the Kossuth Arena, and we'll be coming to you live from what will be the playoff game 1 versus 2 in the women's competition. China will take on Italy in what is a first chance for both teams to qualify for the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. My name is Sander Ulvåg and I'm joined by Olympic champion Rona Howie. Good evening.
Good evening.
Team China versus Team Italy.
Ma Jingyi will play lead for China this evening. Liu Jin Li will throw the second stones. At third is Yo Shen. The team is skipped by Wang Bingyu. Let's meet Team Italy. Angela Rome is lead. Stefania Constantini will throw the second stones. Third for Italy, Veronica Sapone. Just coming off that bronze medal at the European Championships. Skip Diana Gaspari. And here you see the women's standings after the round robin. Italy and China finishing off at 5 wins, 1 loss, so that's why they're in the 1-2 game. Denmark come through at 4 wins, 2 losses. And for the Czech Republic, Latvia, Germany and Finland, the Olympic dream is over for this time around. We'll have to wait another 4 years. And here you see how this works. The winner of this game tonight, Italy-China, will move to the Olympic Games. The loser will play Denmark. So essentially 2 chances for both Italy and China. But it sure would be sweet to secure that spot in the Olympic Games already tonight, Rona.
Definitely. This is a big game for both these teams, and to win this one would be nice. Just to go and not have to play tomorrow as a loser going into the playoff game.
We'll see China throw the red stones. Italy will throw the yellow. As you see Diana Gaspari with just some final preparations. And of course only the 1 sheet in action this evening, so a bit of an eerie feel as Ma Jingyi throws the first rock. It's always a bit different just being all alone out there, isn't it, Rona?
It is. It's always hard when you're the only game on the ice, especially if you're struggling in a game. It's a lonely place. Crowds are not too bad this evening, but we've had very good crowds in from the Czech Republic supporting their teams, but they're not on the ice tonight, so a slightly quieter crowd.
We will have a centre guard to get us started, and for lead Angela Rome, she'll come around on the out turn. Just a little bit off the centre line here for Team China, so Italy preferring to come around on the wide turn.
Yeah, Italy won the match-up between these 2 teams in the round robin. That's why they've got last stone in this game. It is buried, but it's right at the back of the house, so gives China the opportunity to come around the guard now.
China obviously favourites coming in. Wang Bingyu, 2009 world champion and bronze medalist from the Olympics in 2010. Diana Gaspari. Bit of a surprise to some, but of course did medal at the European Championships only a couple of weeks ago, so this new lineup certainly working out so far, and 2 great chances of making it to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been at the Olympics once, 2006, so she would really love to get back. Certainly found their form at the right time. Looking just to hit the stone and get a wee roll. Just rolls a bit too far, but they lie to.
We'll have our first look at Liu Jinli throwing the second stones for Team China. She was the alternate for Wang Bingyu when they picked up that bronze medal in Vancouver. This one will just roll across the top of the other yellow. You can see just Team Denmark on the far end having some practice time. The very young Stefania Constantini, only 18 years old. She played the Youth Olympics in Lillehammer in 2016, placing 9th.
So Italy have decided here to keep away from the guard and just draw to the open side.
Here's the rules of play. We move on to an 8 ends minimum in the playoffs. But the game is scheduled for 38 minutes of thinking time for both teams, and they'll have 1 60-second timeout. Well, this one's going to catch some curl early on Liu Jinli, and it's nowhere close. So, big mistake early. Something I've seen from Liu Jinli in the past, just sometimes the nerves kind of kicking in a little bit. But she has been one of the better seconds of the week overall. So great chance now for Italy to come around the guard and set 3.
Yeah, important to keep this one top tee so that China can't freeze on top of it. They're working this one really hard to get it in. Yeah, she plays that nicely. Just leaves China the chance to hit this open one and roll behind the cover. Both teams are probably quite nervous out there. You know, this is a big game to get to the Olympic Games for both of these countries.
Well, I'm sure some of the nerves will settle after an end or two, as Zhou Yan looking to play the hit and roll there in underneath the guard. Very nearly gets there, but sits pretty open still.
cross behind the cover. She covers the inside of it.
Now would you look to play the hit and roll in behind cover or just roll back to the open wing here?
She could roll back to the open wing because she can't see the whole stone. So I think it's the first end, keep it fairly simple. They'd be happy to score a 2 here with the hammer. So. Oh, and she just catches the back one and leaves the Chinese stone biting the rings.
Veronica Sapona. I think she was asked to try and come to the inside, just threw it a bit wide, and maybe not changing up the call early enough. Could have maybe swept that one, kept it high to avoid the jam. So only 2 yellow counters to be faced with here. Team China. As Cho Yen's hit also starting to grab a lot of curl here, similar to Liu Jinli's second rock. Does make contact, however, but still leaves that Italian stone in behind cover. And Italy will just draw the open wing here.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity now for Italy just to generate their 2 with a hammer. A very simple 2. Keeping their stones with a good bit of distance between them. Sweepers are going to have to work this. She wants it right back behind the T-line. She's indicating with her brush, but it's not going to get there. So yet again, China will go for this hit and roll.
Here's Wang Bingyu, skip of Team China, or Betty Wang as she's known to many. She'll just catch the outside of this one. Will it jam though on the back red? Oof, scary. Quite scary early on there for the Chinese skip.
I think she took a wee bit more ice because she'd seen her players in front of her. Theirs curl quite a bit, so she took a wee bit more ice there.
An overcorrection. And Italy still looking good for their 2 on this end.
Okay.
So, team skip for Italy. Diana Gaspari. Just drove to the open wing once more. Looking to probably come all deep with this one, so the hit and roll is not available for China. Just bringing this just right back a tee, back of the 8 foot. That's a nice draw for Gaspari to start the first end. You just hit the open one if you're China, no heroics come around the guard.
No, not at the first end. Just keep it simple just now. Yeah, I mean she can hit and roll across and try to force Italy to hit and sit. caught the tighter line.
Oh, really starting to dig in. Will it make contact? No. Wow. An over curl. Again, bit of an overcorrection there. Caught the high side on the first one. And you wonder, was it just not enough ice, or maybe just a little soft handle this time? Started to curl early. Sweepers couldn't hold it. So all of a sudden, that is now an open draw to score 3 in the first end for Italy.
Yeah, she can't really believe it. Because it wasn't mad panic when she let it go initially, so she obviously thought she was okay on the brush.
We'll get the stopwatch up. First end should be fairly quick already. Looking for around 14 seconds, maybe a bit more. Should be good for the 3 here. 15-2, so needing to work this a little bit to get to the house, but good sweep by the girls, and that is a huge score of 3 for Italy already in the first end. And it'll be interesting to see how Team China fights back from this.
Anche 2 in casa. Sì.
Angela Romay draws the button here. First stone of the second end.
Yeah, it's a great shot when you've just got a 3 at the first end to put it right on the button.
Now quite important for Ma Jingyi to throw the corner guard and get the ball rolling for China. Never slip into the house here, and Italy can hit. It's a bit of a blow.
Yeah, she's played that well.
I think everyone's still quite shocked by that first end. 2 complete misses by Team China. And if you're Italy now, I mean, the heart's got to be racing already. Although 9 more ends to go.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go in this game, and they can't sit back. They have to really focus on how they're going to play the next few ends.
Two nice shots by Romay. She resides in Pinerolo, which was the place where the curling venue for the 06 Olympics in Turin were held. Not a lot of curling in Sicily yet.
Not yet.
Usually up north. Pinerolo, Cortina. Ooh, gets away with it here, Stefania Constantini. As we see coach Team China, Tan Weidong.
Frantically writing already.
He resides in Edmonton, actually. And many Asian teams spend quite a lot of their days in Canada playing on the tour. And we know Wang Dengyu has been over there playing quite a few events.
Oh, just caught the guard there. Wee bit light of weight and
and well, Søren Gram is the head coach of both the men's and women's teams for Italy. Himself an established curler. More of a coach nowadays. He has coached several nations. Just recently Russia, but also Norway, Sweden. Now he's in Italy.
and Scotland.
We see quite a lot of coaches move around.
So Italy's draw there, the inside of it's covered, so China can't hit and roll off that behind cover, so just going to try and come in and freeze it just now. Sweeper standing well back. Plenty weight.
This one's going to be sailing right through the house. Not a great start by Liu Jinli. I mentioned how I've seen her crack under the pressure before.
And China have been in this situation before. They played in the Olympic qualifying event in 2013 to qualify for the Sochi Games, and they qualified top out of that, so they've been in this situation before.
Ti lai? Ok, aspetta, no. Ti lai abbondante. 8. No, niente. 8, 9. No, niente. 9. 8 sicuro. No, niente. 9, 10 forse. 9.
Hear them calling out the numbers. Letting their skip know how heavy this rock is. You know, so you'll see a lot of teams split up, playing zone into 10 different zones really, from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3 being guards, 4 through 10 in the house. Sounded like they were calling 9, that would be back at the 8 foot. It certainly seems like that was the weight, as it just tickled off the Roniel.
Yeah, it's a great way for the sweepers to communicate with the person in the head, just to let them know what weight's actually being played, so they can make adjustments if they need to for line. And sweep accordingly.
Zhou Yan with the run back. Will make contact and sit right there. Top 8 foot. Pretty good shot there. Does open up the pathway to the corner guard, or in around the corner guard.
Yeah, that was a good result.
They'll be hoping for Italy to make the play on the red and maybe roll out.
Even jam it on the back yellow. It's sitting in front. She's just hit and rolled out.
Well, a little bit on the safe side, so I'll see if China will ignore the shots, don't just come around the corner. That is the call, so you can see how Zhou Yan has opened up that pathway on the first one. Now they'll get to come around. They'll deal with the shots, don't later.
Yeah, if they can get a good one round here, top tee, set up a 2 for them, potentially.
Waiting for line here. Starting to look pretty good. They're trying to drag it. Get the finish.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, it looks fully buried to me. The freeze is called by Diana Gaspari. That's the thing about playing around the corner guard. Your opponent comes to freeze. You're having to sit just right on the corner of the rock to out-count it. But on the center line, you can very often just sit right on top. And if she comes and freezes right on top here, it's not really worth as much. And China can just play the hit on the open stone and sit too. So it's a tough shot here.
It is, because she doesn't want to bounce off it and leave China hit and roll off their stone, so the corner freeze is a difficult shot. Looking a bit wide of line though coming in.
Calling it a little bit heavy as well. And this is going to be sailing through. And you wonder if there was better communication there, maybe could have swept it and chiseled off the shot stone. Just have to make those calls though. Now a great chance for China to get back in, play the hit and roll, in underneath cover. Potentially you leave the same shot for Gaspari, and if she can't make the freeze, you could be scoring her 3 right back.
Yep, and just from one corner guard and one good draw around it.
First having to make the roll here. Might as well go hard for it, because even if you roll out here, pretty good chance you get your 2. But they don't seem too interested in rolling underneath cover. So they seemed quite content with maybe rolling to the open wing there and securing their 2.
It now gives Italy the chance though to hit and roll behind cover and lie short.
I don't know, I'd be tempted to have made that roll in behind the guard and put some pressure on Gaspari just through that draw to the back line.
Just maybe getting her confidence back up after the first end with her miss, that she's get priority and make contact first. So this is looking on the high side.
A bit of an overthrow. Will hang around just edge of forfeit, so Wang Bingyu will have to play the open hit for 2. But they'll be quite happy to get 2 points back up on the board.
Definitely. So released it before the hog line, the green lights come on.
Yeah, last stone, second end here. important to get to the beak of this yellow and sit for 2. It will roll, and it will roll just too far. Wow. Wang Bingyu not really finding her A game early on here. So after 2 ends of play, Italy with a 2-point lead, 3-1. But lots of curling left.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018. Your curling oasis awaits.
2、2区，1也行，差不多3-1，差3区可以吧？好像3区不行。OK， 我1区。
Third end now of the 1 versus 2 playoff game. Winner goes to the Olympic Games. The loser will play Denmark. That's tomorrow. Either way, I think the teams will have a hard time sleeping tonight. Either just the joyous occasion of qualifying or thinking about that game and the last chance to play tomorrow.
Yeah, the losers will really have to bin this game pretty quickly and get back out fighting. And Italy have come up short there. And she knows that's not what was asked for.
So 2 centre guards up, that's good news for China. Come around, possibly set up for a steal.
Oh,
Yeah, good sweep there.
good sweep. Swept it the whole way. Trying to get it past the second guard and just past it to no more. Well swept. So Italy now will have to make amends and try and split that yellow guard that they put up with the first one. Try and split it in. It's looking very tight of line. Sweepers are on it the whole way.
That does at least open it up a little bit by moving that top guard.
Yeah, it's still 3 guard zone, so she is allowed to move it but can't remove it from play. So she's just ticked it over.
Good chance for China to just keep guarding this. And then you wonder if maybe at some point they're going to have to come around and try and sit 2. It's not the greatest shot stone at the moment. Quite a lot to draw to for Gaspari.
Yeah, but this is looking really short as well, tight of line. They're all in sweeping, trying to get it over the hog line.
Just enough, I think. But, as you said, just not the best line for it. I think that happens sometimes. You throw it a little soft, starts to curl a bit early, maybe catches a new path, especially in the first couple of ends.
They're trying to go for the straight raise back here, yellow onto red. And she's put it out into the open.
Pretty good effort by the 18-year-old Stefania Constantini. She hadn't even turned 7 years old when the Olympic Games were going on in Turin. Probably remembers some of it. I'm sure that was a big catalyst for Italian curling.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, the Italian men also with a chance of making it to the Olympic Games. They'll play in the 1-2 game tomorrow. They will play Denmark. The loser of that game will play Czech Republic.
So they're sweeping this one really hard. They don't want to be short again, so trying to get it past this guard. But comes up short.
Slight stagger on the guards here now. A great chance for China to come around.
Yeah, it's making sure you can capitalise on these. You know, China hit and ran out there, and that was a great chance for Italy to come round the guard, put the pressure on China, but just didn't capitalise on that mistake.
Get the clock running again. We're looking usually for around 14.5 seconds. With a few strokes to it. 14.4, so that should be close.
Yep, she's a good line. She's past the guards. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, very nicely played by Cho Yan.
So Italy know that they've got last stone here. They need to get this front open.
Catching it a bit too thin there, and ticks in the red on the wing as well.
Yeah, they were sweeping that quite a bit of the way, and they didn't really need to.
See Wang Bingyu signaling, giving the signal through a long guard here. Just in front of that yellow stone. Try and keep some separation. Make the double hard.
And it does put that added pressure on Italy now because China have got that second counter in.
That's a good guard by Cho Yan. She's really the player that's holding this Chinese team together at the moment.
Devi prenderla qua, eh? Sì, sì. Sì, sì, come prima.
Well, this one curling early for Sapona. Just barely able to chip that red stone off. Yep.
Turn that in a bit, she said there. Or signal.
I think very often you know yourself what you've done wrong. You just want the confirmation from your skip. So I'm quite sure Wang Bingyu will throw that same guard.
Yep, there's Marcel rocking the crowd. Coach for the Chinese men team, who unfortunately lost their last game to Russia today, which ended their Olympic dream.
Yeah, Liu Rui placing 4th in Sochi. He was a big favourite coming into the week, just couldn't quite find their groove. This guard from Wang Bingyu coming a little deep, but is able to get a decent angle there. It's half checking that yellow, so hard to run anything back onto the red. But you can surely double those guards. Just half rock. They both go.
So they're on this one early as well, trying to hold the line to lift the 2. And she does that nicely. China's stone's in a really good position, top of the 1 foot. Quite difficult to outdraw that.
So straight guard, or do you ever maybe come to the top 12 foot here? Just slightly checked in behind that guard.
Yeah, you could, but I think China just don't want to be too greedy. They could try to do that and it just overcurls half a stone and then shows Italy the shot. So, you know, they've played this guard a couple of times now down here. It's a safe shot. They're lying 2 and really force Italy to try and outdraw the one that's there.
Zhou Yan actually pointing to the top of the 12 foot here. So perhaps wanting to just nibble the rings for an extra counter. Just wanting this to stop in time, not come too deep.
In case she left a double.
I think she's pretty happy with that.
It's pretty good.
Because now if she plays the double, she won't be able to outcount the red stone on the wing.
I think Diana Gaspari knows that it's the draw that she needs to play here. And so it's very difficult to get the shot. She has to be in the 1 foot.
Well, she's a pretty good drawer, Diana Gaspari. She's playing 83% on all draws this week versus her 71% for all takeouts.
So if you're a betting man, you would say she should make this draw.
So we know the times, but the line seeming like the biggest problem here. Gaspari urging her sweepers on. This is cutting early, really digging in onto the top one. Oh my. You would think that that redstone top 12 should have never been in play. And over curls, and it's a steal of 3 for China. And well, the Chinese have turned the game around in just a couple of ends. Complete panic. Not enough ice, maybe a little bit soft, a little inside the brush. Who knows, but over curls completely and disaster for Italy. So all of a sudden now the score after 3 ends, it's 4-3, Team China. Wow, we look at that scoreboard. A big 3 for Italy in the first end. And now a steal of 3 for China in the third. Quite a bit of drama already in this game, and I guess that's what you would expect from such an important game. Some nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in for a high-scoring game this evening. But yeah, it's Diana herself will be really annoyed with that last end. But she has to bin it. She's 1 down with the hammer, so try and get her 2 back here.
I wonder what happened with that last draw. That was the same spot. A couple of the Chinese girls over-curled their takeouts. Maybe a bit of extra swing coming that way.
Yeah, I mean, she shouted the sweepers on immediately after she played it, so she was either a very soft handle or she was playing it tight, so tried to sweep it the whole way to hold it, but just couldn't.
Sometimes when you take a bit more ice, go a little further out, you catch some frost, but not really a lot of frost building up in the wings this week, but maybe a bit of fresh pebble, one more bite to it, something.
Yeah, sometimes you'll find as well, the more ice you take, the more of a swing you'll get, depending how it's been cut. But no, I think she just was tight from the word go in that one.
Just trying to defend her.
It's all about taking responsibility. So Italy just come in back T, so it gives China the chance now to come up and freeze that.
Definitely a big blunder from both the skips so far in the game. Remember Wang Bingyu with an open hit, flashed it in the first end, left the draw for 3. But an even bigger miss from Gaspari there in the third. We have mentioned how Italy's hitting game is maybe not the best in the field, so when they're up, you don't really have that strength to hit and run for home.
No, and to get a 3 at the first end, you know, there's still 9 ends to play, and it's really trying to forget that you've got a 3 and just play the game as is. And it's a long way to defend, and as you say, the drawing game is their strength, not the hitting game. So just rolled off that there and leaves a double.
Italy has been playing 67% for all takeouts as a team. When you compare that to China playing 79 for the same type of shots, that's quite a difference.
It is.
But Liu Jinli here, second for Team China, has had quite the struggle so far and seems to continue here. Looking for the double, but actually gets a little bit lucky there and gets the roll instead. So the result's still pretty good for Jin Lee, but still looking a bit nervy. Doesn't look all that comfortable yet.
Gets a nice wee roll, but it does leave a bit of a pocket, so Italy can come in and freeze on top of that. So the sweepers are saying it's a bit heavy. So we need to make contact with something to slow down. No, it's not a good result. So China lying really well, 2 behind the guard.
Yeah, just looking to throw the guard here, keeping it simple. Would allow Italy to come around for shot stone, but there's a good chance Italy might want to try and clear the front. Still quite a few rocks left on this end. pull heavy, I think, so changing up the call and coming around the guard instead.
That's a pretty good result. The inside's virtually covered, so no hit and roll for Italy, but still difficult to remove these.
Still not quite what that was called for there by Liu Jinli, but in this end, a little fortunate with a good backup plan for both shots, and the result for both not too bad actually.
This is looking very wide. Sweeper standing right back. Just nicks it.
Yeah, Liu Jinli definitely wins the battle of the seconds in this end. And it's a much better setup this time around. And we know Zhou Yan has been playing well. I'm sure she'll be able to put the guard right there where Wang Bingyu's tapping her brush.
%82% for the tournament. It's a really strong stat for the third player.
Yeah, actually best in the field. Top of the rankings for third players this week. She will put on the center guard.
Italy could have drawn round there, but Diana's obviously thinking, you know, I need a way in with my last stone, so let's get this open.
Yeah, because if Italy misses the draw, China comes around again.
Then Italy are in big trouble.
Just trying to keep it all open for now. Looking for the double on the guards. Just saying if you overcurl and run it back onto the reds on the house, that's a good option, but caught right in between. Gets neither. That's a bit unlucky there. Quite close to that second red.
China just quite happy to keep putting up that guard. Yep, that's good there. Covers it the way into the forefoot.
Second chance at the double peel for Sapone. Pretty close this time. Get the double, maybe get some contact with the other stones of the house. No, just runs it right past.
But at least it's opened it a bit.
Pretty happy with that one.
Yep, she's always smiling, Veronica.
It's quite important to have a player in the team that can lift your spirits and you know, have the fun one.
Absolutely. When things are getting tough out there and somebody can keep the team going and crack an odd joke now and again, just lightens the mood.
对，3区4区都行，主要是站线，站在这块一条线上就可以就行。那你上马那个劲儿就行。15秒5。行。
So China will just be looking to guard this again.
点，稍微小一点点。
And then you wonder if
再来一点。
Gaspari might have to
Okay.
play a draw.
Wow.
78% for the week. Wang Bingyu puts her on top. As fourth players go in the women's competition. Actually, quite a few percentage points ahead of the second ranked skip, which is Diana Gaspari.
So you can see that guard just coming into the house, so Diana Gaspari just going to go for the draw. As long as she passes that top red, she can freeze the corner of the one that is lying shot.
So even though there's quite a few reds and around the forefoot, there's actually still a chance for Italy to score a 2 here.
Yep, she just wants to half check that red and not bounce off it.
I guess the good thing here is there is a chance she might have to play the same shot as their last one, and now getting a feel for the draw.
After a draw at the last end, she'll want to make amends here. Sweepers are saying it's T-line.
This one also starting to dig in early. Starting to swing. Just lost this one. That's line's not too bad with this one, just shy for weight. Sweeper's not on it early enough.
They were calling it was T-line. They were quite happy with the weight.
Still a bit shy. I mean, even sweeping that the whole way, not sure if they would be able to get it quite down to that back red, but sometimes when you're a skip, go up to the hack and you ask your sweepers for maybe a split time or at least some type of reference for weight. And you could throw that weight that the sweepers are asking for, and sometimes it's just the wrong feedback. I'm sure you had that in the past, Rona.
Oh, I'd never blame the sweepers. No, and it depends what track on the ice you're on as well.
Certainly more than just a one player throwing. Every shot's a team shot. Not only after it's released, but also before it's thrown. As we see Wang Bingyu and her sweepers being able to navigate this nicely into the 8-foot and really take away the draw.
Fantastic shot. So you would hope Italy have just got a split time on that one. But Gaspari looking at tapping up her yellow.
Good communication here. Ma Jingyi and Liu Jinli off and on, communicating the whole way down.
Yeah, really well played. Sneaked round the back of the yellow.
Now, I would think there'd be enough room to draw full forefoot on the outturn still.
Definitely, but I suppose playing the tap up, she's got some options of how that could come into play, but very difficult shot here against 4 counters.
Yes, a big one again for Diana Gaspari. Last stone, fourth end, facing a heap of red stones, looking to tap this up, bounce off the red in the corner of the forefoot and then onto the button, but this one is over curling quite a lot, not even barely making contact with the yellow, and that's a steal of 3, maybe 4. We're not quite sure. Zhou Yen is having a look.
Just didn't have the running on that to do any damage with the tap.
over curling left and right. Gaspari so far. They're going to measure. Even that yellow stone in the back might be measured here.
Soren Gran looking a bit serious now.
Oh, they had such a great start, scoring 3 in the first end, and then it's just been a bit of a nightmare. So 3 for sure. Question is, will it be 4? So there's the 2 back stones that will be measured. So we will wait for one of the umpires to come on and figure this one out.
Yeah, Italy just needed to play a bit more running with that stone just to tap it up, because she could always come off a red when she tapped the yellow, and just a bit lighter weight and caught the draw.
Right, so it is 3, steal of 3 at least for China, and we're measuring to see if it could possibly be 4. Double China's score here in the 4th end.
Italian thirds following the umpire around, whereas the Chinese thirds just talking to her team.
Well,
oh, she's double checking that she's getting it right.
Can't see the dial from here. That looks maybe yellow.
Very close.
It's a red, 4 red.
Oh, it is red. And that's confirmed by Sapona herself. 4 red, a steal of 4. And it's 8-3 after 4 ends.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018, your curling oasis awaits.
Welcome back to the Koszyutka Arena in Pilsen, Czech Republic. It's the Olympic qualification event 2017, hosted by World Curling Federation. It's been just one roller coaster of a 1 versus 2 playoff game so far, Rona.
It really has. Kind of speechless by it all when you see that scoreboard. You know, Italy got off to a tremendous start at the first end. 2 misses by China, and you know, Italy took advantage and got their 3. But since then, Italy have kind of fallen to pieces. Just the stone placement's not been good, and things have been blocked up when Diana Gaspari's come into play. So to lose 8 shots in 3 ends, they really need to get back on the scoreboard here.
Well, Team China will certainly be feeling all more relaxed now. I'm sure tensions were high after giving up 3 in the first end, but now we're going to feel pretty confident, and knowing their hitting game, which is quite strong, they should be able to keep things fairly tidy. Of course, cannot start peeling guards quite yet, so for Ma Jingyi, important to try and place these stones in the right spot. Want to keep them in front of the tee line.
Yeah, great shot there.
Yeah, comes up a little short in the first one, but comes nicely around on the second, lines it up.
Sweeping this one really hard to try and get it round the corner guard. But looks as though that's going to come up short as well.
Yeah, Due is 2. That is halfway guard. I know I'm quite the polyglot.
You certainly are. You're showing off now.
Yeah, well, it's not the worst spot. I mean, it's better than throwing it through.
Absolutely.
China will just try and peel it, and Italy will get another chance, but you're going to have to sink one in sooner or later. Rather sooner than later, actually.
Yeah, definitely, because you've still got to get rid of that one that's touching the 1 foot as well. So the young Stefania Constantini, she's struggled so far in this game. Only 18 years of age, so great experience for her.
Well, she started well in that first end, and it's been a bit of a struggle since that. But it has been for all of Team Italy, really. Really, all 4.
Plays that really nicely. Completely guarded. But China will just peel off the top one.
Leo Jinli has had a tough start to the game as well. Was able to make something happen with her stones in the previous end here. Also just over curling a tad and leaving a corner guard.
Yep, a guard that can be used by Italy on the other side. But it's what we said, you know, after the first end, it's very hard to defend a lead for 9 ends. And China's really in that position now. There's a long way still to go in the game. So it's a long way to defend that lead. Italy really need to keep this counter in the house.
Oh. Not really the tolerance for the shot there at all. Rolls out, only leaves that 1 yellow in play, which is now, you know, fair game for Zhou Yan. Still the corner guard in play, of course. Another good one. Actually wanting to roll out here, not leaving too much shrapnel around for Italy to use. It will stick around though, just in play outside the rings. Needs to cross that back line completely to be taken out.
Oh, Italy will try and come around the other corner guard now.
Well, they're just going to have to try and find some cover anywhere.
She's going to have to draw. It's passing the guard by quite a bit there. Try and drag it back as far as they can to bury it. That's a good effort. China just looking to see how much they can see of that from the hack. So they'll go for that, but as long as they take the guard, if they're not going to make the shot. Coming in nicely, played a really nice weight there.
Another 2 great shots by Zhou Yan. She's been the best player out there so far.
So Italy need to be right up on top of this. They can afford to even just tap it back a wee bit. So sweepers working this to try and bring it right in. Just comes up short, leaves China line 2. Oh, there. The coaches with the new technology of working out the angles, working out percentages. Just uses a wee pen to dot the stones about.
Yeah, mostly that's just it's really good for the coaches so they can revisit certain situations after the game if there's been a tactical error or something they would like to discuss. Sometimes, you know, give up a steal of 4 as an example. You might want to go back and see what happened there. Could we have done something different? Yeah. In this case, I think there was just a couple too many missed shots, really, but sometimes it's down to just a wrong call that can really put you in trouble.
China just split that yellow out the house. Yeah, but it's great for the players because, you know, in a 10-end game, it's a long game. You kind of forget certain ends, or coaches used to debrief games using salt and peppers and glasses and trying to recreate the situation. But with this modern technology, it's really good for debriefing.
You can see he's already put that stone there fully frozen. The coach expecting this shot to be made.
So this is the path that Diana came down a couple of ends ago and was tight and caught the top one, so she'll make sure she's right out this one. Well, it's second shot. Just curled a fraction too far. So real focus in her eyes there when she releases, focusing on the brush. Just wants to chip this yellow out. Oh, does it perfectly. So forces Italy into a 1. You can see the coaches there are also using video cameras, so that they can show the players the situation in the head and look at tactics that they've played and maybe look at other options that they could have done, or to reinforce really good calls. So it can be used in a number of ways for debriefing. Also looks at the technical side of the delivery and your release.
So a really important shot here for Diana Gaspari to keep Italy in the game. And this one's made right on the beak. Will sit for the single point. So at halftime, the score is 8-4 for China. We're halfway there, and Italy is going to have to come up with something big to turn this game around. first end of this 1 versus 2 playoff game. It's Diana Gaspari to get off to a great start, just a draw to the open house for 3 points after a huge miss by Wang Bingyu. Was able to force China to take a single in the second, but it's Gaspari in all kinds of trouble in the third, having to draw against 3 counters. And with the draw over curling, it leaves China stealing 3 and will lead the game 4-2-3 after 3 ends of play. And in the fourth end, again just a bundle of red stones in about the 4 and 8 foot. Gaspari looking to promote her own yellow stone, but over curls. And after a measure, that would be a steal of 4. After 5 ends of play, it is an 8-4 game, as Søren Gran has a tough job here.
5 points. 9-8.
Here comes the cheering of the girls. Of course,
we know it's going to be a little bit tough, but
girls feeling quite relaxed, and they'll have a new chance tomorrow anyway if this doesn't go their way.
And most important as well is to get the good spirit into the team again, like feeling that we can make shots. But now that we know about the ice, it's just to accept that and play for that. Now it's maybe draw weight 380 to the tee, and we have to just start living with that. It's hard to say about how the ice is going to react before the game. You don't know it really, yeah? Now we know it's slowing down, and we have to accept that. Okay? Come on, Italia.
没有8个弧球，那个弧线还可以，都一样。
但场地大对咱有好处，咱们自己的赛球动作，咱们练。然后完了，感觉那个就是也现在开始稍微有一点点降速了，可能都要到弧线打。他这可能是啥呢？因为到晚上了，在观众少的屋里，室温就要降。
We'll take a look at some of the stats after 5 ends of play here, and you can see China outscoring Italy by 14%, and it's really China's draw game that's been the main difference in the game so far. They've just been able to come around the guards and set it up, and that's why Gaspari's been facing so many counters. And Italy's just, they haven't really been able to make much, and 7 stolen points. I mean, that's not very often you see that. We take a look at how this works again in terms of qualification for the Olympic Games. The winner of Italy-China will progress to Pyeongchang, and the loser will get to play Denmark. So both teams will have a second chance. This is Team Denmark, and they'll be watching this game. They just had a practice this evening. So after that halftime break, I think both teams ready to get back onto the ice. And we're hoping to see a much better Italian team. You want to see that team that got the bronze at the European Championships 2 weeks ago. You want to see that team that made it to the playoffs. They certainly haven't been that team as of yet, Rona.
No, they've just really struggled for 4 ends of this game so far, and you know, you heard Søren Gran saying to them at the 5th end that, you know, it is the weight they're struggling with. It seems to be a bit different, and that these conditions happen when you're the only game out there. There's less body heat in the arena, so you know, as he says, they've just got to adapt quickly and start making shots. You know, the game's not over. They're only 4 down.
Oh, I don't know. The ice didn't seem that different to me. We had the clocks up a couple of times. China was drawing in top button 14-4. Yeah, it's in around the same area. I've seen it all week. It's been somewhere between, I'd say, 14-2 to 14-7 even.
Yeah.
It's not a big difference.
No, it certainly doesn't seem it. And they did have a 10-minute pre-game practice, so there would have been an opportunity to see how the ice was running.
And it's quite a big room, you know, with big crowds, and even if there's only the one game out there, I wonder if it really makes a big difference or not. 57% so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Icemen are on, you know, they are constantly monitoring the temperature of the ice, the temperature of the atmosphere, the crowds that are coming in. So, you know, they're looking at all these things to make sure the ice remains consistent. And it's certainly been great all week.
Ma Jingyi playing 93%. She's done her job in terms of throwing. That's the kind of numbers you are hoping to see from a lead in an important game like this. Row May down at 57 is quite poor to be a lead, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Not really setting up your team for the ends.
I say the front end are younger. It's all a big experience for them to be out there, but you know, Diana's a very experienced skip, so you would hope she would help them along. Constantini, just 60% for the game. So, unfortunately, at this level, when you're playing in an Olympic qualification game, you're going to have to play better than that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that Diana Gaspari is usually so good at making the draws and to bail out her team. She's not quite been able to do so either. I mean, sometimes you have a bad end or two, but if your skip can draw the button and get that single, you save that end and it keeps you in the game, but she hasn't been able to do that either. So it's really the whole team as a collective has just failed so far.
Absolutely. Tried a double peel, but removes one from play.
You look at Team China, both Liu Jinli and Wang Bingyu had a rough start to the game, but Zhou Yan, the third, she's been making all her shots and kept China in it. It's really important for at least one player to step up. And
yeah, absolutely. You know, somebody in the team's always likely to have a bad game, so it's how do you get them out of that and, you know, keep their spirits up to improve their performance. You know, nobody's trying to play badly, and nobody will be more frustrated than those players out there that know they've played a lot better all week. So China just continuing to peel these centre guards. They've got last stone here now. So don't want to get into a guddle behind guards that they don't need to. They're 4 up in the game.
Veronica Sapone, she's been all right, keeping close to her average for the week anyway. She's also been able to keep the spirit in the team, she's the one smiling. And
yeah, absolutely. She smiles no matter what.
yeah, she's able to keep the team relaxed. And you know, it's hard. I think it's harder for the skip to do that because you're pretty much alone on the other side of the sheet. So when you have a couple of young girls like Italy has, it's important for its opponent to step up and I think take that role and keep the team relaxed.
And it is, you know, she's the link between the front end and the skip, so it's important, you know, to keep the motivation there. And she's certainly very good and bubbly and smiley to keep the team relaxed.
And here you can see Zhou Yan, 85% so far in the game. That's what we've said. She's been solid, but a little bit unlucky here.
That was unlucky, just trying to take the guard and the one in the house. So just nosed it instead of splitting it, so unlucky, but did open up the front. Just cleaning the underside of the stone to make sure there's no debris.
Tenuta finita. 2. Ok, deve carrare. Linea 2. Deve carrare, aspetta. Vai Angela, vai tutta. Tutta, dai che arriva. Tutta.
Just trying to make this curl. Try and go over and guard the yellow stone. So you can see she hasn't fully covered it, but China won't leave it. They'll try and raise the guard again into the one in the house. So big weight peel here. This catches it too thin, but actually gets away with it and brings a shooter in. Plan B there. Laugh there to herself. You can see it was wider than she meant to play and just spins both guards and runs into the house.
It's kind of kicking you while you're down, isn't it?
But you know, sometimes when you're up in a game, things go for you. And when you're down, they just don't. You know, it's getting the lucky rubs. If the initial shot's not going to work, making sure you get the best of the error.
La prendiamo quasi piena. Dobbiamo rotolare una stone in là. 10? Sì.
So perhaps playing the hit and roll here to the left of our screen, try and get some separation of the yellows. There's a good chance this might jam in the back. Might just have to take it.
Sweeping this hard.
Does jam and catches it pretty much on the wrong side of the rock. So those yellows are very close together, but actually not.
It's
But
not
at the
an
first
easy
look,
double
no.
Okay.
They're just side by side like that. It's never very easy, and if she was going to hit the pocket, there's a good chance it would jam on their own red. So
Yeah.
I wonder if she's just going to play a hit and roll here off the short stone, sit on top of the second one. She might be lying second short here. Looked pretty close to me. Just catch. That's a hair on the brush side here. Just flop on top of the other yellow. Had a shaky start, Wang Bingyu, but it's been playing a lot better after that first end. That's a pretty good result there for Chinese skip. Didn't quite get the roll, but finds a nice spot after all.
Yeah, that's a really good position there to finish. Italy, no, they don't have last stone here. They don't want to lose another 2 or 3.
Ma che vada piena e restiamo a punto. Ma che vada quasi piena che restiamo a punto qua.
Da rischiarla quasi piena.
Una bocciata di
No, una tega.
La doppia sì?
Però
io giocherei.
Secondo me rimaniamo. Vuoi giocarla solo per piena?
Quasi.
Va bene. Se sei in filo più larga ci abbiamo piano B.
Ok. 9,5.
Così?
Sì. Nove e mezzo piena, restiamo a punto e se lei boccia la nostra non ne fa 2, deve andare a punto.
va bene, 9,5.
Sì.
Soren Gran, Italian coach, looking pensive.
Well, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, she did look at trying to lift the double.
现在是这个键，但我要是打
But
完那个的话，
pretty close for who's lying between that yellow and red for second shot.
现在是1、
I feel
2、
like she might
3。
just be able to play the hit and roll off the short stone here and just, if anything, just tickle the second yellow for 2.
对，头一个吧。
But they're just going to play it safe, it looks, and just draw for 1. Is there any risk in playing the double or just the hit and roll?
She maybe feels it's going to jam on the red at the back, but I would think it would split off it rather than jam onto it. It's whatever she's comfiest throwing at the moment.
场地色一点了是吗？
There is no need for heroics at this point. Up 4. Take a 1 here. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they'll be happy with a 1. Looking good. Sweeper's just nursing it into the forefoot. Yeah, lovely.
So that will be the single for China. But still very much ahead in this game. It's 9-4 score in favor of the Chinese, as we have now played 6 ends, but 4 more to go.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018, your curling oasis awaits.
OK， 线了 OK， 指着力量啊，6区。OK， 这个线了很好，哇。
We're in the 7th end of play here. China, Italy. Winner goes to the Olympic Games. China 5 points up on Italy.
Yeah, Italy going to have to take a few risks here now with last stone and try and score a multiple end.
I was trying to think of any big comeback stories that I can remember in a big championship, and I did witness one quite recently. Went to the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. It was China playing Korea in the men's final. China was up 5-0 at halftime and lost it 8-9.
Well, maybe the Chinese women will have that in their minds too.
Just saying, anything's possible.
Anything
here.
is possible, absolutely. Well, we've seen a massive turnaround in this game from end one.
Of course, World Curling TV covered that Pacific final, and that's worth a rewatch. Quite incredible shot making from the Korean team to get back in that. So let's hope Italy has a few tricks up their sleeve here.
Yeah, one good end. Last stone here, so make every shot count.
Score 3 here, and then maybe China might start feeling the nerves again.
Yeah. Score a 3 and then steal the ends thereafter, and it's all good.
Ok. Falla accellare un pochettino, se non entra.
No, vai, era tutta.
Vai.
Non entra.
Ancora. Ok, brava.
So, 2 good corner guards, and China will just move out and start peeling. That nicely.
Okay, nice shot.
A 3 o 4, scusa?
A tazzare va bene.
Ah, ok.
Puoi restare anche a 3.
Ok.
Buona.
4. Mi sento
4 va bene. 4
solo linea.
Ok, aspetta, linea.
I just want to put this on the 12-foot behind that corner guard. Leave it quite high, so they can use it as a guard as well.
Vai che si nasconde, sì.
Ok, basta.
Yeah, perfect. That's what she was asked for. So Italy seem a bit more confident with their draw weight now. China continue to peel.
Nice shot. Okay.
No, a quanto tirare? Al 4,15.
Italy will just replace that longer guard.
Oh, sola. 3.
Va bene 3 qua?
La linea del ghiaccio? Sì. Mica ho capito la domanda.
No. 2, rallenta 2. Sola linea. Oh, vai, tira giù, deve curlare. No, vado sola. Vai, sì, tira giù. Vero. Vai, vero. Sì, vero.
Ok.
Yep, does that nicely. 2 good stones. See the green lights on. Released it before the hog line.
Nice shot. Hey.
Peels perfectly.
Oh, there's 2 red counters here, so surely Italy needs to make a move at some point. Now, when do you make the move, and what kind of move do you make?
Yeah, they will need to make a play on those because China are lying 2 and they're centre, so Italy could draw around and freeze the back one. So this is Aponi's first stone, so I would hope to think maybe with her second that they might come round and start playing in the head.
It's a nice guard by Zapona.
China are peeling very well. Italy just hoping for a slight error from China.
It's kind of like you're hoping for a mistake that you can build on, but at the same time just kind of postponing that move that you make later on, allowing China not too many chances of tidying up, and we do get a slight mistake, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for Italy.
Can still be a corner guard, but as you said, we need to start getting in here to play freeze the back one or put a bit of pressure onto China. Yeah, freezing that back one would be really good.
Sì, 85. Occhio, perché la loro non ha rallentato come la nostra, però ci siamo mai.
So taking quite a lot of ice. This was the part that caught them out earlier on in the game, swinging a long way.
Linea buona. Sì.
Buona. Anche 9 secondo me. Anche 9.
So sweepers are saying it's got plenty of weight. Going to draw past the guard. Yep, here it comes. That kind of went sideways at the end, coming into the house there.
So it doesn't get fully frozen on the back, but sits in between the reds.
Yeah, because if China raise their front red on, if you just watch this coming in, it just misses the yellow guard by not a lot, and then just goes sideways. I think that must have grabbed something coming into the head.
Yeah,
but it's finished in not too bad a place, because if China raise the red onto the yellow, it could jam in the back red.
That's why it looks like China's just going to play on the open one here.
Yeah, they're 5 up. They don't need to do anything too clever.
Took a glance at trying to slash it in for the double, but I wonder if there's a chance you might jam it on the back one. So I think it's just an open hit. Maybe even try and play the double on the yellow and the red stone top 8 to free up the yellow stone in the forefoot.
Yeah, definitely. They had a look at the angle for that one as well to see if they could just spring it off to the side a bit.
Big extension here from Wang Bingyu. Big weight. Trying to catch a piece of this yellow. Wow. That's a great shot there.
Yep, well, she did look at the angles off her red and off the yellow, and she touched them both.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to catch it that thin. Well, that's a bold call there. See that big extension to get the extra weight. Also taking some of the ice reading out of it, just throwing a pistol down the ice. Not going to curl very much. And see if she's able to catch it thin enough to make the double.
In fact, she touched every stone in the head. Red, yellow, red at the back. Yep, we'll touch all 4 stones. Oh, she liked that one.
Oh, that's just a marvelous shot by Wang Bingyu. And a confidence killer for Italy.
Absolutely. That knocks the stuffing out of you when you're setting up a 2 at an end. But she can come in and freeze nicely on top of this one.
Oh, she's looking a bit grim coming out there. And this one will just tickle off and sit in the open.
She was good weight, just didn't get the line right again.
And I'm sure we'll see Team China just try and pick this yellow off, peel it out. And then Italy's going to have to draw against 3. Well, if she could make that first one, you think she could make this one.
Yeah, she only needs to split this yellow out the house.
She's actually a lot better on the interns for her takeouts, playing 86% on the interns so far this week, only 64 on the outturns. That's a 22% differential, but we couldn't really see much of that when she threw the first. That was a pistol.
But I'm sure the stats went up for that one.
And she's actually finished in quite a tricky spot now for Italy to even score. As we mentioned before, when 2 stones are just side by side like that, it's tough to make the double because sometimes you hit it right in the pocket. The shooter tends to spin up and out a little bit. So you wonder if it's gonna, the shooter might roll away.
Because she can't afford to nose that top one. She wouldn't be shot. So she has to move that second one.
We'll see how it comes off here. Last stone, 7th end, down by 5. It's a double essentially to score the single. This one's starting to curl. Past the top one. And can't quite spill both the reds. So it's another steal for Team China to make it a 10-4 game. But 8 ends minimum, so we're going to have to go one more, but looking more and more unlikely for Italy to turn this around. So we're down to the 8th end of the 1 versus 2 playoff game in the World Curling Federation's Olympic qualification event 2017. It could very well be the last end we see here. Of course, China up by 6. There you see the scoreboard. Italy with a great start to the game, but then China just running away with it. gonna have to play through this end, and unless something magical happens, you'd think that Italy would maybe just forfeit and start thinking about the game tomorrow. They'll have another chance to play Denmark.
Yeah, they've just got to really treat tomorrow's game as a final. You know, they need to debrief this game and, you know, look at... Oh, some fans waving the flags there. So yeah, they just need to debrief this game, get it out their system and refocus for tomorrow.
Well, maybe I can lighten the mood with a fun fact, Rona.
Okay, go for it.
So Diana Gaspari, born in San Candido, very close to the Austrian border. And San Candido hosts Italy's International Stone Sculpture Festival each year. Wang Bingyu is from Harbin. And Harbin also hosts the International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival. The one in Harbin being the biggest one in the world.
Well, there you go.
So they have something in common there.
Snow sculpture. I wonder if they've got any curling stones.
I'm sure they do in Harbin. I've never been, but maybe in the future. That will usually takes place from around Christmas and for a couple of months, so you'll have a good chance to have a look.
So straight away China, after the 4 rock rows pass, they can move out and start peeling the guards. No mistake there. China certainly on a mission out there. Got their tails in front and starting to really play well.
Now, if we take it for granted that China wins this game, what are the things Italy need to do tonight and tomorrow in order to kind of swallow this loss and get ready for the next one? What's your process there?
Yeah, you know, whether you win or lose a game, you've got to debrief in the same fashion and still go through the same process. So they'll do that with their coach. So they have to debrief this game and then they have to put it to bed. Closure on this game and then move on for tomorrow. Oh, great double peel there.
Yeah, Leon Jinli is really up to her game. Shaky start, but now coming to her own, and that's what you expect to see from your second player. Peel those guards and nice double. And really not giving Italy anything here.
No, and it's very demoralising when you are trying to fight back, but the opposition are just playing every single shot. You just feel your backs are against the wall, but no, as I say, the time tonight to get this game out their system, and then tomorrow's a new day. They've got to look at it, not saying, oh, it's our second chance. It's basically, they have a game to play tomorrow. It's like a final. They win it, they go to the Olympics. And they really have to focus on coming out strong.
Now, who has the advantage between Italy and Denmark? Denmark with the time off, the evening off today, they just came off for some practice. You know, sometimes if you play a game, you can keep the momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Denmark won their last round robin game to qualify today, so they came off the ice on a high, have got time off to rest, have a wee practice, and really focus on their game tomorrow. Whereas Italy have had that loss, and that's why the big thing for Italy is how they deal with that now. It's going through that process of winning this game I'd say debriefing and learning from things that happened in this game, and then coming out completely fresh tomorrow, refocused.
You can see Veronica Sapone has been playing pretty well today, considering. Of course, a couple of key mistakes early on in the game has been crucial.
Brava!
That's a nice shot.
You might wonder why China put any stones in the house at all. Is that just...
Yeah, they could have thrown their lead stone through if they'd wanted to, but yeah, they certainly don't need to score. But they've been successful in the other ends doing it that way, so they've just kept it up. Really nicely played. They're just on fire now.
Now we see these two reds kind of half checked. Could you not maybe come around them instead of freezing, knowing the upweight ability of Team China? I know it doesn't. That maybe doesn't feel. It feels like nitpicking at this time, but
I know. I think they're probably just looking if they come up to the front of them, they've got room for error. If they just go for a slight tap on them and create a nest, maybe give Diana something to play with. They could try and draw around and China call their bluff and put up a guard.
Sure. This is
yeah, that's a lovely shot, and then that creates that nest that Diana could use later on if it's still there. Two really good shots from Sapone. And she's still smiling.
calling the bluff here, maybe, like you said, even with playing the tap.
5区往前都行。4区，对，5粘那个粘上那个球，然后完了4区站位，把这块站上也可以。把这个站上，把它
Not running any big risks here, of course, China, but staying professional and just trying to play as best as they can here in the last end, or what we presume to be the last end.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them to remove that stone and not move a red behind. They're lying 2, very difficult to outdraw. So if they put up a guard here, it's a very difficult shot for Italy. They're going to have to use the red onto their yellow into the pack. And China will be thinking, well, that's only 1 yellow coming in, so it's risk versus reward, and they're happy to take the risk here. We've got 6 up on the scoreboard. So this is looking quite high. They're going to have to try and pull it in. Oh, just split off it.
Well, how can you fashion a 3 from this, I wonder? Probably what Gaspar's thinking about.
Absolutely.
It's the only 2 is not really enough here. A 3 at least gives a minimal chance.
Yeah, I mean, she can lift that double of the reds, the one at the top onto the one at the back, but then she would leave the yellow sitting to lift a double. So China would go for that. So she's trying to look at where the best place to leave her shooter is. She could also come up at a tap-up weight and just tap her yellow onto the red and lie shot, and then her shooter would be sitting at the front to use again, and it would be very difficult for China to remove. Whereas when she hits here, it's actually opening it up for China. to be able to hit.
If you did play the tap, could not China just throw the guard on then?
But if she played the tap over onto that and the yellow sits here, it might give Italy 2 options to be able to come in with their last stone.
Yes, whatever you do, you can't really take away everything from your opponent, especially with no guards in play.
Absolutely.
It's tough. This one's going to over curl. Ends up rolling, just half checked on her own yellow.
China just lying 1 now. Obviously they don't need to score, they're just trying to eliminate the scoring for Italy.
Well, you can see how putting the 2 first rocks of the end in the forfeit has actually given Italy something to work with.
Absolutely.
If she threw them through, there would be nothing here. It'd be a blank end. So kind of asked for this, I think, China.
Yes.
Oh. They're going to call a timeout, so yeah, just gonna try and make you really sure. They don't want to be too complacent here. The Chinese and Tan Wei Dong will come down for a chance.
你投一个完成的很好还可以，你投不好，还不如就给他2分。
这球要是打得安全，因为咱领先那么多，可以把那7号球
就把它打掉，
对，给他2分都 OK， 对，对，不用想打大包，打掉7号就 OK。
打这个。
对。
我看那分。其实我感觉就薄掉这个就行。
要你 no 大包，那个球指定走，反正他也就最多是2分球，是不是这意思？那你就打 no 5号。
不是，我打掉这个的话，正好把这敞开，对方一打，可能也许反而出2分了。
给他2分没关系。
对啊，但是如果打掉这个的话，让他找去呗，这2个，他还得可能出现个甩的球呢。
其实我要
把这个打掉呗。
一是你保掉他，一个 no 的5号，把5号崩出去都 OK 啊。
是，我知道，肯定先就确保打掉一个呗。
对。
贴活，打掉一个。
Now, I might know what 2 means in Italian, but my Mandarin's not excellent. But it did look like Tan Wei Dong came out and pointed at the scoreboard right away and said something in the terms of, you know, we're 6 up, we want to hit something at least. And I think if you just peel the top one, you're going to leave a pretty makeable shot for 2 for Italy and play a little run double. If you actually peel, I think the second yellow leaves a tougher shot for 2.
Yeah, definitely. But I think they were concerned because the second yellow was so close to the red. But definitely when you're 6 up on the scoreboard, even if they lose a 2, they're 4 up with 2 ends to go. So on this early.
Oh, definitely on the top one here. See where the second one goes. It's just going to sit right there. Could be a red shot stone sandwiched between the 2 others, and in the end could be a tough one for 2 after all.
Yeah, definitely, because that middle red's not really going to go anywhere.
I wonder if you might have to draw and try and nudge it.
It's very difficult because you've got to really nudge it right out the forefoot and keep your shooter in the forefoot, so it's a really tricky shot. But raising our yellow's absolutely going to jam that red in the middle.
Yeah, and you have to roll the shooter in full forfeit, so you're just going to squirt the yellow currently in the house to the left. So I think the only looks like the only shot is to come down and just try and tap it with a draw, just tap it an inch or 2. It should be possible. I mean, there's enough finish.
Yeah, she needs to move it, what, half a stone width to get counter probably.
Oh, not even that, I think. Either way, pretty tough. She'll need to just squeak past the top stone here. Just back button, back 4 weight, and just chisel off that red stone. Keep the shooter in the forfeit. Well, given Italy a chance to score 2 here, but it's not an easy one. Last stone of the 8th end.
It's got a long way to draw.
Looking a bit heavy for me. It's just going to go past everything. Surely a steal, a 1 for China. And you would think that that is it. And there we go, handshakes. You know what that means? Team China is qualified for the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang 2018. Elation for Wang Bingyu and her trusted team. Well, they were big favourites coming into the week, and they've succeeded. 11-4 final score here of the 1-2 playoff game. Oh, what a relief. It must
Very
be
happy.
Well, Italy, I think, for the last couple of ends, they've realised that this game slipped away from them, and they've been able to sort of digest this loss a little bit already, even before the game ended. And they're just going to have to reset. They get another chance tomorrow. They play Denmark. One more shot at making it to the Olympic Games, but for Team China, well,
a happy coach and a happy team. Yep, you see what it means to them.
Yeah, that's just the start.
That's right. They've got the Olympic journey to go through now.
China-Italy in the 1-2 playoff game. In the third end, Diana Gaspari up by 2, but now facing 3 Chinese counters. Starting to curl early, and the sweepers can't hold it for a wreck on the top stone, and it's a big steal of 3 for China. And all of a sudden, China in the lead after giving up that 3 in the first end. More trouble for Gaspari in the fourth. She's looking to promote her own Yellowstone. But this one also over curling. And after a measure, it would be a steal of 4 for Team China, up 8-3. Italy scores 1 in the 5th end. And in the 6th, Wang Bingyu just going to draw to the button, no problems there. Scores 1, still very much in control. In the 7th end, just taking a look at Wang Bingyu's first stone of the end. Italy looking good for maybe scoring 2, but a rocket from the Chinese skipper. It goes 1-2, yellows fly, just kills the end for Italy. Getting fired up for the Olympics. Because in the 8th end, Italy would concede the game. China making through to the Olympic Games. Final score, 11-4.
Congratulations, Betty. You're going to the Olympic Games. How does it feel?
Yes, so amazing. It feels so great. It's the 3rd time and the dream making true. And oh my, I don't know how to say that. It's not easy for me, as a team. We just try our best and yeah, we going there. Yeah, I'm so happy.
And you had that terrible start, and then everything seemed to change. What happened?
I don't know. I think it's everyone is so a little nervous and so exciting going to the final game, and it's take it there. You just get there, and I think both team just a little nervous, a little exciting for that one. So I think we have some mistakes, but we didn't lose ourselves. So we just want to continue and keep going and try get back one point and 1 rock, and it's happened. I can't believe also. Yeah.
So yes, 3rd time at the Olympic Games. Your friends, your family, and playing for China. What will they all think back home?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's a big thing for me, and I think it's for this team. And this whole season, I think we not so good, and we played here, and but right now we can go there, and I think they are well proud of us. I think, yeah.
Well, congratulations, you deserved it. Well done.
Thank you so much. See you on Olympic.
That was really tough for you guys out there. I mean, how do you feel about it all?
We have a really bad game. It was not a game. It was a really bad 2 ends that I missed one of the last throws. And then we know that with this team, if a team is down 3 or 4, they are really able to clean everything from the house, so it's really difficult to come back. We were able during the round robin, but today no, we were too many points down. But we are ready for tomorrow.
You had that great start as well.
Yeah. But they missed 2 open hits, and they give us the 3. But then, unluckily, for me the key point was the throw that I missed at the 3rd end. Even if they score 1 there, we were 1 up or tie, the game would have been different for sure.
Did you feel different going into the game? Were the nerves there, do you think?
Yes, more tension for sure. Too much tension that I couldn't really focus on the basic technique, but we have to learn it because we played only a few playoffs in my life, so it's training also to deal with this kind of tension and pressure. So.
But you have another chance. What will you do now? How will you change things?
We have to calm down and go on the ice with the same attitude we have during the week. Just relax and think every shot like a, I don't know, a training shot without thinking where we are here.
Hard not to think because it means so much to you.
Yes, it's hard, but we have to do it, otherwise it comes another game like today.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So just taking a look at the women final stages here. So that's China then off to the Olympic Games. Italy drops down to that qualification game number 2 and will play Denmark. And of course the winner of that game will join China in Pyeongchang. So we sent 1 team to the Olympic Games today, but we're going to send 3 more tomorrow, 3 more games. The winner of each will progress to Pyeongchang. Keep watching World Curling TV.